Boogie Fland is the one guy from the combine this week that made the decision to come back to school. And he announced it, I believe it was on Tuesday afternoon. He said that he was coming back to school. And for my money, I think he immediately becomes the number 2 player available in the portal. I probably would have him above Jameer Watkins, probably have him above RJ Lewis, below Darian Williams, although I'm probably I don't know if there's anybody on the planet that is higher on Darian Williams than I am on Darian Williams. I feel like UNC could use him. I feel like Florida could use him. I feel like Alabama can use. I feel like damn near every team in the country that doesn't have an All-American caliber point guard could use Boogie Fland this year. What are you hearing about that, Isaac? And if you were advising Boogie, where would you be telling him to look?
Yeah, I think Florida makes the most sense there. Obviously, they have a ton of buzz, and I just think that the path of what they've done for guys is really important. Like they helped Elijah Martin's stock really, really improve. They've helped Will Richard's stock really, really improve. Walter Clayton Jr., obviously, it turned into an All-American and NBA draft type of guy. So Florida certainly makes sense on the depth chart as well. You pair him next to Xavier Lee. Say Florida gets Alex Honda back. Say they get Tommy Howe at the 3. Say they get Ruben Chignello at the 5. Like, having 2 small guards with Lee and Fland together is fine when you have that much size. Like, that'd be 6'9", 6'10", 7'1". Like, I think it could make a lot of sense stylistically and honestly just, with the financial aspect of it to make sense. But you're right. There are a lot of other teams that I could talk myself into. Like, I look at Tennessee's roster right now. Could you put him next to Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament in that backcourt? That could make a lot of sense to me. Kansas, I think they need another ball handler for sure. And they have room in the budget to make a big splash. I think that would be a team that I would keep a really close eye on with Boogie Fland. But yeah, I think Florida's obviously the leader right now. And Jeff, you probably know a little bit better than me, but I'd keep an eye on Kansas for sure.
Yeah, Florida is the leader. I mean, Florida's certainly the leader right now. And, again, with Kansas right now, it's more whether they think they can get Sarr. And if they don't, if they think a Duke is coming on strong or an Oregon's making up ground, I think they have to have a plan B because their roster right now is good, but not Kansas good. And Florida's, they got it. I mean, they're desperate for another guard. You're talking, obviously, you have Xavier Lee, who's unproven at that level, comes from the Ivy League. Who else do you have right now? I mean, that's it. Like CJ Ingram, I love. I just don't know if he's going to be that guy as a freshman.
Yeah, he's more of a wing. They got A.J. Brown coming in from Ohio, who's probably best as a good bench piece. And then the Klavzar kid that showed up out of nowhere and just started raining threes in the middle of SEC play last season. But you're right. I mean, that's why it was very easy to connect the dots when Boogie Fland decided that he was going to come back and say,
Mike Miller's his agent. Yeah,
yep.
I mean, Mike Miller's his agent too. So, there are a lot of dots there to be able to connect.
Yeah,
I would also throw in the decision not to pay Desmond Claude. I think that also kind of played into the factor here of this of did you have intel behind the scenes of okay, we could get Boogie Fland for what price compared to Desmond Claude for what price? If you could get Boogie Fland for $1.5 million cheaper than Desmond Claude, I think he's a better fit.
Yeah, I think the price range for these guys will be similar. What Des Clark ends up getting and what Boogie Fland ends up getting, I think will be in the same ballpark probably. Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have, Isaac? If I gave you Boogie Fland or Des Claude, who would you take? Fland?
Yeah, I'm taking Boogie just because I felt like the 3-point volume that you definitely would get with Boogie would make more sense with their current roster construction. I don't like the idea of Desmond Claude putting his head down and driving to the rim for 8-foot floaters or trying to get to the basket when they already have 2, maybe 3 bigs on the floor if they play Hauck at the 3.
Yeah, in a vacuum, they're really similar in terms of where you would probably rank them in a top 100 players list or something like that. But I think with the current roster construction that Florida has, I think that Boogie Fland is the one I would spend the money on. That's